Washington County. It's, of course, the first county in the Northwest Territory. Marietta, the county seat, is the first settlement in the Northwest Territory.
The Northwest Territory was the first organized region established after the Revolutionary War. The land was bordered by the Ohio River, the Mississippi River, and the Great Lakes. Ohio holds a special place in history as it is home to the territory's first seat of government.
Originally, when those 48 pioneers come down the river, they'll name the community Adelphia. They'll hold a town meeting and decide to rename it in honor of Marie Antoinette, the French queen who had supported many of those early settlers. The formation of the state and the first settlements here in Marietta in the early days becomes a hub of political activity.
Marietta is celebrated for its many trailblazing residents.
A really interesting story that most people are not quite aware of. There's a gentleman by the name of Christopher Malbone, otherwise known as Kit Putnam. He worked for the General Israel Putnam family. He was a black man, and because of all the work that he did during the Indian Wars, they granted him the right to vote in 1802. This is a black man voting here legally. He breaks that barrier here in Ohio.
Marietta is a historic town. You know, people come here because they want to see their history. I think people are comforted by their history.
Part of that rich history includes Washington County's third and current courthouse, which has served residents since 1901.
The current courthouse, or the third courthouse, originally had a jail on the 4th floor. You can still go in and see remnants of that jail.
You could actually see where one of the boys was actually tracking his days on the wall, and you don't know how many days was in there, but quite a few.
The question that we get most about the courthouse are the decorations that are on the floor.
There's several signs up explaining to people that the tiles in that have a specific design that many people will associate with the Nazi Germans. They are not Nazi in any way. It's a Native American symbol that's been around for generations and generations. I believe the Germans and the Nazis actually took that old ancient symbol and altered it a little bit. So there is a slight difference between the two, but we want to make sure that people don't have that association with that regime. I think just the overall architecture, the grand wide staircases that we have here, the main courtroom itself, when you go into that, it has names of the early judges up on the wall. Just a beautiful reminder of our history since 1788.
As a river community, we've been site to a number of floods.
I believe it was the 1913 flood.
The Gold Lions were actually part of a private home.
And after one of those floods, they were moved across the street and put in their current location. And they've been guarding the courthouse ever since.
It's stepping back in time. You know, you walk in through that door, of course there's modern amenities, right? There are phones and new lights and exit signs and things like that. But you really are stepping back into the early part of the 20th century. It's easy to imagine business being done 100 years ago, 120 years ago.
For generations and generations, it's been a gathering spot for all sorts of activities, not just court cases, but rallying places for different issues, whether it's anti-slavery, whether it's soldiers going off to fight in World War I. So it's been an integral part of the community.
It's obviously symbolic. People know Marietta just because of the exterior of the courthouse.
It's an absolute wonderful community. People love their history here. They love their courthouse.